super excited about is Mr. Kyle Olson. He is the co-founder of the Midwesterner, so he's on, a number of different platforms and national news. He's going to give us the pulse of Michigan and all the craziness that's going on, and hopefully it will inspire each one of you to get more involved. So thank you, Kyle.
Thank you. So, as Jennifer said, my name is Kyle Olson. I started the Midwesterner about a year ago because it came out of the Tudor-Dixon campaign, and I was the one, at least during the primary, that was dealing with the media. And what did the media want to talk about? Donald Trump and abortion. And they were gotcha questions. That was all they wanted to talk about. They didn't want to talk about Gretchen Whitmer, her lockdowns, her record, any of those sorts of things. And so we said after the campaign, we said we can either continue fighting with the Michigan media, or we can start our own. And so that's what we did. And so you can visit us at themidwesterner.news. Please go there, sign up for our daily emails. We are live streaming events. We've gone to a couple of the homeschool events. And what we're trying to do is try to provide that information to people. That it's just a live stream. We're not commentating. We're not doing anything like that. And the homeschool situation in particular is the most appalling to me, because you've got these Democrats in Lansing who are saying we have to go after the homeschoolers because there could be some parents that are abusing their kids. Well, we published a story today about the new Flint teachers contract. And so as the Democrats in Lansing are talking about abuse of homeschoolers, to me, there's abuse going on in virtually every single government school, every single day. Because listen to these statistics. In Flint, 6.9% of kids are proficient in English. 3.6% of kids are proficient in math. A 35% graduation rate. And if you go back to the pandemic, remember when all the free money was flying around, Flint got $50,000 per student to try and get kids caught up. And where are they at? 6.9% of kids are proficient in English, 3.6% of kids are proficient in math, 35% graduation rate. What does that mean? We all know what that means. Kids don't have the basic skills to hold a job, and bad things happen after that. So when they want to go after homeschool parents, maybe the Democrats in Lansing should be figuring out how to improve government schools, which does not take more money, because the $50,000 that they got per student went right out the window, and they probably can't even account for it. So a couple of the stories that we have worked on that hopefully you've seen is back during the campaign, it was announced in September of 2022, it was announced that the Gretchen Whitmer administration was going to be giving $715 million of our taxpayer money to bring a Chinese battery plant into Big Rapids. We immediately said, we're supporting the CCP. I mean, this is not complicated. If you are a Chinese company, you are a front for the CCP, period. And so early when the Midwesterner began, we started publishing stories about what was in the bylaws of the company. This is not complicated. You go on the company's website, it's right there. This is not a conspiracy theory. Read their website. The other thing that we did was we said, let's go live stream the township board meetings. And let's show the world what was going on in this township. And to me, what was the most appalling of this situation? You know, when you have the federal government or the state government, there's separation. And those people are insulated from the people. in a township of 3,500 people. You see that township board at church, you see them at the grocery store, you see them at the school, and that board, Jim Chapman, who was the supervisor, and that board did not care what their local voters thought. And so we said, let's go to every single meeting and let's air this and let people see the outrage that is going on in this community and the fact that this township board was not listening to them. And of course, what happened? They were recalled. And that is, so when the Democrats love to talk about democracy, that's what democracy looks like. One of the other stories that we recently had, 3 weeks ago, Ruby Garcia was shot and killed on US 131. It happened on a Friday night, which is significant when it comes to the news cycle. So Monday morning, we got a tip that said the perpetrator was an illegal alien. And we started, Midwesterner has very good researchers and writers who knows the court process, how the police work. And we were able to identify within a matter of hours, a couple hours, who it was, what he was being held for. Our writer reached out to the family, to Ruby Garcia's sister, because she was talking to the media. But do you think WZZM or Wood TV or anybody else that was writing about or covering this would ask, what was his immigration status? So we asked the sister, what was his immigration status? And she said he was in the country illegally. And it just took off from there. And what was significant about it was that we forced the local media and the national media, because it was in the Daily Mail, New York Post, it was everywhere. They were forced to cover the fact that he was in the country illegally. And as much as Chris Becker, the Kent County prosecutor, wanted to make this about a domestic abuse situation, which it is, that should not be diminished. The fact of the matter is Ruby Garcia would be alive today if Brandon Ortiz was not in the country. And when he was deported, he was kept out of the country. Yes, go ahead.
I heard that he was deported twice and got back in.
We know that he was deported at least once in September of 2020 during the Trump administration. It's not clear when he came back, but the bottom line was he came back and he was allowed to be in the country. And so to me, what this is showing is it was unfortunately our local example of the border crisis and what illegal immigration is doing to not only our country, but our state. And so this is a huge issue in this election. And unfortunately for Hillary Skolton, it's a huge issue. And so one of the things that we've been doing is we've been doing our own research and reporting on Hillary Skolton's record, because it doesn't seem to me like anybody else is doing this. So I just wanted to tell you a little bit about Hillary Skolton's record.
Hillary Skolton is who?
She is the congresswoman from this 3rd Congressional District. So in 2011, she wrote an article that deportation for some crimes is, quote, cruel and unusual punishment. As an immigration attorney, she fought the deportation of a registered sex offender. She has supported sanctuary cities and counties. In 2018, she wanted Kent County to end its contract with ICE, which it did in 2019. The sheriff has been scrambling about that. She promoted a how-to guide to undermine ICE and immigration rules and laws. And as a member of Congress, she voted against a resolution to deport those who assault first responders. She voted against a resolution banning the use of school buildings to house migrants. which is relevant because that's happening in New York State. She voted against a resolution banning the use of federal lands to house migrants, and she voted against a resolution condemning Joe Biden's open border policies. She should lose over this issue, period. The Democrats are going to do everything they can to talk about abortion, to talk about Donald Trump's personality, to talk about all of these other things. She should lose over this issue. And every candidate that is running should be talking about Hillary Scholten's record because it's terrible. So those are some of the things that we do. If you would like to support us, you can go to themidwesterner.news, sign up for our daily emails. You can become a subscriber. That certainly helps us. You can follow us on Rumble, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, basically anywhere. So that's what we are doing. If there are opportunities to live stream events, we would love to do those. Do we have time for questions? I realize, and I apologize, I am the last person that's keeping you from the Red Wings game. So maybe I'm speaking about myself.
Do we have a few questions that you'd like to ask Kyle?
Yes.
Were you aware that Ruby was dating this man?
Yes, I am.
Can you repeat the question?
He asked if we were aware that Ruby was dating Brandon Ortiz. Yes. Does that matter? No, because to me, if he was not in the country, she would be elected.
She's putting herself into a dangerous situation.
Correct, but at the end of the day, she should be alive. Yes.
I have some grandchildren that go to school in Lowell, and my oldest grandchild, she's about 11. Anyway, she came home one day, she was steaming. I said, "What's the matter, Lily?" You know what we have to do? We have time at the end of class. We have to sit there and watch CNN. I was enraged. So next day I called and talked to the superintendent of schools. He said, "Well, it isn't like CNN that you see on television. It's just an overall view of what's going on in the world." I said, "You're lying right through your teeth." So I says, "If that's what you have to do." Oh, then I found out Lowell schools were getting paid by CNN to allow them to show that crap.
Correct.
So I says, "Well, if you're going to do that, why don't you show One American News or Newsmax? Sort of a balance." And he gave me some fluff answer that went nowhere.
Right.
So you got that going on in schools, what's all this woke crap?
Yes, CNN 10, it's called CNN 10. It's a 10-minute daily newscast, and they're very effective at reaching kids. And so they will pay to be in schools, and then they're able to advertise to kids. And that's happening, I would say, well, I don't know how many schools it's happening in, but it's happening in a lot of schools where you wouldn't think that's happening. Yes?
Are you covering congressional races across the state?
Yes.
Some of the things you dug up on Hillary, like
Yes.
on, Elise Slotkin.
Yes. Yes, we are. Yes, we're covering Alyssa Slotkin a lot. Mm-hmm.
And one other quick question is, we have seen a quote by Winnie Brinks saying that that she loves the idea of getting rid of parental consent for abortions.
That's coming next. Yes.
I think that's coming next. I don't know if they dare try and do that before an election, but I'd assume you guys would cover any of that.
Yes, we absolutely would. They have done. Look at what they've done. I know Representative Frisky's here. Look at what they have done. The Democrats have done with basically a one-seat majority.
Yeah.
I mean, they repealed right to work. There's a whole lot of things that have happened. And so it would not surprise me if they tried to do something like that.
Well, Senator Winnie Brinks is right here in our area, so that's why I'm bringing it up.
We know who she is.
Right.
Unfortunately.
She has stated that recently, which surprised me because I know they've been trying to.
Can we applaud for this guy any louder?
Thank you.
Thank you, Kyle, so
Thank
much.
you.
Good job.
Thanks.
All right, who is